now let's go ahead and get started. So go. You guys are ready to go. All right, so here we are finally on the 15th of June. We're setting up the store. So
Okay, so we're paying off LB remodeling for the remodeling job for the interior on invoice 1754. So I would go ahead and since I'm writing a check, I want to journalize this in the general journal. Start with the 15th of June. Since this is where I'm stuck at, because I would assume that I would be putting in an LB remodeling company, but I was looking in the chart of accounts, and I'm not really finding the right account I want to use.
Would it be the subcontractor one?
That's what I was.
I thought it, yeah, but the thing is you're going to debit it, and you already have that amount in the debit for the subcontractor's expense.
Well, wouldn't we do accounts payable, subcontractor expense?
No, because we don't have that account's not set up, or we don't have a PR for that.
okay, so Nicole, you're
Or
on
what,
the right track.
subcontractors?
Not
So
subcontractor.
we would go subcon.
Not subcontractor.
It's not.
It would
It's
be an expense, right?
We already incurred the expense because the job was already completed. But what did we receive?
Services.
Okay, the service was already complete. What did we receive to tell us that the job has been done? Okay. What did we receive when the job was completed?
A bill.
Correct. And did we pay for that bill yet?
Invoice.
No, you didn't pay. You're paying it now.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable.
Okay, I was thinking accounts payable because that's where we originally paid for it in the first place.
Well, we didn't pay for it. What is an accounts payable?
Oh, no, I meant, let's see. I'm trying to see. Accounts payable is a liability.
So the accounts payable is when you owe someone, and that's what we paid them for. So then we'd go accounts payable and then
Checking?
subcontractor.
No, because we incurred an expense, right? That's what we're categorizing. This job was done for this amount. Now, in this scenario here, we received a bill, right? But we weren't obligated to pay it right away. So that's why we recognize the accounts payable. We recognize that we owe somebody money. Now, fast forward. Now, today's the day that we choose that we're going to pay them off. So, if we're paying off a liability, okay, so accounts payable is correct because that's where we placed the bill. Checking, right? How do you pay off a bill? How do you reduce it? You need to use cash, right? But in this case, do you have cash in your hands? So that's why I wrote here that you need to pay with the check. But in this case, I thought I fixed these, but I didn't. I guess I didn't save them. But it's not supposed to say a check number. So in this case, it is check whatever, 1514. But in this case, I am going to be writing a check to them now. Okay? How do I know how much I owe?
I will go to vendors and find out how much do I owe NV Remodeling.
Correct. So subsidiary ledger. Let's take a look. NV Remodeling. Oh, it's LV Remodeling. Excuse me, my bad.
We owe them a total of $34.50. Are we paying the whole thing or just for the invoice?
What does it say? What does it say on the scenario? Because I think I specified
Invoice.
which one.
Oh, just for the
Invoice
invoice.
1754
It just says to pay them.
for the 1890.
1890.
Yes, we're paying off invoice number 1754. So, invoice number 1754, how much do we owe?
1890.
1890. Okay. So there we have it.
So do we put in a subsidiary ledger then that we paid it, made a payment?
You want to do that now, or do you want to do that later?
After this, I think we go to check-in and make sure it's in our checking register.
Okay. So we're still in the midst of completing our journal.
Notes, I would put LV Remodeling Company, invoice 1754, check number 1514.
But we
This
gotta
would
go to
get-
the check registry first, don't we? To
Right,
document it.
Correct.
to get the check number.
So we'd go to check registry, 615, for the amount of
1890.
1890.
LV Remodeling Company.
It would go. And then go back to the journal and then put our notes in with the check number.
And invoice 1745.
1754.
Oh, damn it, what is it, 49? Oh, wait, hold up. I gotta fix mine.
It's okay.
And then LV modeling. Invoice number. 1754.
Oh, for your PR, it's gonna be 20,000 and 10
100.
100.
Good.
And then from now we go to the substitute. No, not the
General ledger.
Okay, so you want to go to ledger, or you want to go subsidiary ledger or ledger first?
ledger, general ledger.
General ledger. Okay.
And then we'd go to accounts payable.
Okay.
The date and the end. Oh, did we get? So should we have went to the POs and got and put in the invoice number?
Did we have a purchase order for this?
No.
No.
Invoice 1754.
On the 11th of
On the 11th or the 15th?
well, on the 11th is when we got the invoice, and we had the 30 days to pay, or the 3 or 4 days to pay.
We have net four to pay, and we're paying it within the 4. So the date would be the 15th, invoice 1754, post reference JG5 for a debit of 1890.
Okay, good. So I'll step in here. So since it looks like we're adding another bill here, but with your debit, of course, tells you that you're paying it off. A key indicator is you can also add extra information such as you're making a payment. Okay, and if you want to add the check number, you can add the check number. Okay. Good. So, therefore, by debiting the account, what's your ending balance?
13,786 and 40 cents.
Good. Right.
Now we want to go over the assets to checking. start with 615, check number 1514, GJ5 for a credit of 1890. Should give us a grand total of 2299.92 in our debit.
Good.
Can you give me a second to catch up, please?
Let's see.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, where to next?
Our vendors.
Yes.
LV remodeling.
Okay, we're already there. That's how we figured out how much the bill was. So let's fill this out.
Notes, payments, check number 1514. The invoice will be 1745.
54?
Oh, 50. Is it 54 or 45?
It's 54.
Oh man, I have it wrong on both times. Hold on. So date, the term. I don't know if we put in there because we're already paying on the term date.
Nope, nothing needs to be here because you're paying right now.
On the this day, is that the day we was discontinued or the day we paid?
Okay, so this is discount.
Oh, discount date. Okay, never mind.
We're not given any percentages, so there is no discount.
The due
We
date.
would just go to the invoice amount.
Will we put the date that we paid as well on the due date? Or just
We,
not noted?
well,
Oh, yeah.
in this case, we have the date right here, and we noted that we're paying this.
Okay.
So this one, you would be doubling your entry there when you already indicated that you're making a payment for invoice number 1754 on this date.
All right. And then prepaid, there's no prepaid. The invoice amount I would put 1890.
Okay.
I think for return allowance, no discounts, but on payments, it'll be 1890. And then
You-
we equal.
Oop, wait, no, never mind, sorry. Whoa. Let me re-edit, let me undo that real quick. Okay. Now, let's,
And that would leave us with a zero balance.
There we go.
let's take a look at this. By us entering that number in the invoice amount, right? And we're making a payment right here, right? It shows that for this bill right here, for the 1754, it's now reflecting a 0. However, look at your previous balances and then look at your total at the very end in your gray bar. Nothing's changed.
That's why I didn't add any amount in the invoice amount. I just added the payment, and this way my total comes to 1560.
Correct. So in this case, I already associated that I'm making a bill payment to this 1754. Therefore, I don't need to add in any invoice amount because then it's saying this transaction right here, if I added that in here, that means at time of service, I paid for that bill right then and there. In this case, I'm just strictly only making a bill payment. So therefore, in my accounts payable, it shows that I have a negative amount. But let's take a look. If I have a negative amount, right, and I add up my total, that means I'm only left with one more bill left, which is the 1760 for the amount of the 1560. So that's how I want you to utilize this worksheet, is that if it's strictly a bill payment, you only need to enter in your payment. If it's a bill that you received, enter it into the invoice amount. And if you made a payment, then you made a payment. Okay? So in this case, that's exactly how I want you to do it. I don't want you to add anything into the invoice amount because this is strictly a bill payment. You're just paying the bill. You already recognize that the bill exists. You already recognize that you owe them. So now this time I'm making a payment and that reduces my accounts payable, right? It makes it negative. And now right here it shows that I owe only $16.50. Now if you made a partial payment, which you can, therefore if you do that, then it's going to reflect that you subtracted this amount out. However, you still have an amount balance. Okay. All right, good. Excellent. Okay. So, are we done here? Is this it?
I would say yes,
Okay.
because we did the journal, we did the ledger, and we did the sub ledger and the check registry,
Good.
right?
Good. Yep. All right. Okay. So, what happened next?
Purchased office
Purchase
supplies.
office supplies.
Okay.
Go ahead, Melinda.
Purchase office supplies from the office supply store for $150. We paid it with our business credit card.
Okay. All right. So we acquired some more stuff. In this case, right, office supplies could be printer, ink, printer, paper, pens to write down any ideas, and et cetera, post-its, sticky notes, whatever you need, right? You got a grand total of $150 worth of office supplies. So,
The supplies expense,
okay, so we didn't use the supplies yet.
we purchased them.
We purchased them. What happens when you purchase these supplies?
We pay for them.
We're paying for them. Good.
Inventory.
It is not an inventory item. We're not going to keep track of these. We're not selling them out to the public. When we purchase them, right? Who owns these office supplies?
We do.
We do. Good, correct.
So it's an asset
It's an asset.
for office supplies.
You have an account called office supplies in your chart of accounts. Okay.
11,800.
11,800. Good. So,
Oh, I went right past it.
so yes, so here we have in the chart of accounts that we are purchasing office supplies, right? We have an account, and what happens at the end of the given period, right? So in this case, at the end of the month, we're going to calculate how much office supplies we used and make our adjustment there. But in this case, we're acquiring office supplies because we own these supplies. These are ours to use. Okay. So there we have it, office supplies for the 11,800. Now, how do we journalize this?
Office supplies.
Good.
And then Visa payable.
We didn't use the Visa. We used the business credit line.
Business card.
Oh, I thought that was the business credit card.
It is. The Visa credit card is your business credit card. You only
Oh, yeah.
you only have one credit card. If you have another credit card that we applied for and we never recorded it, I have no idea where it went. Okay, so in this case,
I guess it's just because you have it written different. In some locations you put Visa, and in some locations you put business credit card. So I thought it was two separate credit cards as well.
but we only applied for one.
Right.
Okay, so in this case, okay, yes. In this case, I'm trying to interchange. So business credit card is the same thing as your Visa credit card, right? That's the only Visa credit card that you have. It's the only credit card you have, and that's the only one that you applied for the business. You're not using your it didn't say personal business credit card, or you didn't say personal credit card because, once again, we can't use a personal credit card for this. If you did, you would have to be reimbursed for it. But in this case, that's a little level advanced. I'm not going to tell you to do that. Why make a purchase on your own credit card when you have a business credit card? Okay, so in this
And
case,
that'd be 22,000.
yes, it'd be Visa payable, 22,000.
All I'm gonna say is, where's my receipt?
Okay, there.
For this owner, I'm like, hey, did you get a receipt? No, I just spent 150. I'm like, okay, great, thanks.
Right, but here, you're using the business credit card, so you don't need a receipt.
Oh no, no, just yeah, that's true.
But if it's your personal credit card, then yes, then you should definitely tell your owner that, hey, you need to reimburse me. Okay, so yes, this one is pretty general. I didn't put an actual receipt there just because the general idea is that we just purchase office supplies and we use a business credit card for it. That's it. So in this case, how much was my supplies work for? 150. Okay. And what else needs to be done here?
The notes.
Notes. What's my notes going to be?
Purchase office supply or office supply store. Visa or office supply store, office supplies, Visa.
We know he paid with the Visa.
That's okay. Whatever you guys want to put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably put it because we put the truck numbers.
Okay. All right.
So that's all we would put there, though, right? Is the office supplies and the note there.
Okay.
And then after this, general ledger, office
Yes.
supplies account 11,800.
Perfect. Right. Waiting for someone to say something. Okay.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry. Okay. Yeah.
office supplies. Yes. Okay. Should be.
Uh,
I think it's before. It's before the furniture. Excuse me. Sorry.
yeah, and before inventory.
Here we go. Before inventory. There we have it. Office supplies. Oh, nope. There you go. Office supplies.
15 June. I put purchase office themes, and then I put the office supply store. Um,
What did you say? Purchase what?
I just said purchase office themes.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
because we
Okay.
have like specifics, like were they paper clips, a stapler,
I just put office supplies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Whatever you'd like. Good.
And then post reference
General.
5, and then debit 150, and then normal balance 150. After this, go to our liabilities to Visa and let them know we spent more of your money.
Can you,
Oh, what do you need?
can you hang on for a second? I was in the wrong one. I was
Okay.
in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or in the ledger for office supplies.
Correct.
I'm good.
Okay.
Second. Please.
I was in my subsidiary ledger.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good as well.
Okay.
We gotta go to Visa payable in our subsidiary, in our general ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Just put purchase office supplies. General Journal 5 for 150.
I bet this would totally be more fun if we were all in person, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Oh
your
no,
new
I'm
credit,
gassy today. It's gonna be smelly in the room.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
so your new credit balance would be 470.31.
Good. 470.31. Excellent.
Now we need to go to the subsidiary ledger to the
Yep.
office supply store.
Good.
Invoice amount 150.
Under notes, I put office supplies and paid with Visa. Post reference to be JG5. Invoice amount will be 150. Payment will be 150. It should show you a balance of 0.
Good. Anything else we need to do for this transaction?
We go to our Visa account.
Visa account. Okay, in this case,
I don't think what name it's under.
you're not going to touch your ledger for the
Oh,
yes, because the one thing that we have to note here is that we already keeping track of the business credit card transactions, right? This is only when you receive a bill. Okay, because when you receive a bill, or in this case, the credit card statement, and where is it? National Bank. When you receive your credit card statement, right? This is where you'll enter in your bill because you're gonna have the amount due. You're gonna have your stated amount that you got charged for interest for, and so on and so forth. So in this case, right, we don't need to do anything here because we're not paying the credit card right now. We're still, using it to charge up
okay.
our credit card. So here we only deal with this if we have a transaction occur. So in this case, if we receive a bill, if we paid for something, or when we receive a receipt. In this case, we haven't received a bill yet. Okay.
So that's it. We're done to the next one.
Good.
And then we purchased from wholesale food store 60 pounds of sugar at 36 cents per pound and 3 cases, 12 packs of non-dairy creamer at 16.33 per case. Total due is 70.59. Paid with the business credit card as well.
Okay.
Quick question on this one too.
Yes.
And when I say it out loud, I just answer myself. Food is not taxed.
Yes. Excellent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. When I say, oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Excellent.
Now I have a question. Would we start off with business supplies for this one?
Let's take a look at a chart of accounts.
Well, no, because there's an account for
Sugar and creamer.
sugar and
yeah.
creamer. Yeah,
That's right.
Okay.
it would be
Which,
sugar
good.
for 2160.
2160. Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, the chart account number was 11770.
Okay.
And that's 2160. Yeah, yeah.
And then we would do
Humor.
creamer, which is account 11775. And that amount was for 48.99. And then we would
run it up.
do Visa payable.
Good.
Do we have to put Visa payable or just Visa? Or it's just.
Whatever your chart of
Oh,
accounts
the
says it
account Visa
is.
payable.
Yes. So in this case, what I want you to do is only the description could be whatever you want to say. You could do abbreviations, whatever, or when you do your trial balances, you could just type in Visa. But in this case, this is the journal. The journal needs to reflect exactly what your charted account says. Okay. So no shortcuts on your journal unless you're making notes, of course. Like if you're putting parentheses and stuff like that, that's for your page only. But as for professional wise, you can't do that. Okay? So whatever account it is, so for example, when we look into QuickBooks, you will see the exact account number, exact account name needs to be placed in there. Okay? But I mean,
Go to the ledger.
we go ahead. We need to finish up the note.
Oh,
Purchase sugar and creamer.
From where?
Visa.
wholesale food store.
And we paid with the Visa.
Mhm.
Just put Visa.
If you'd like. But again, in the journal itself, you already have that you're purchasing sugar and creamer. It says so right there in our journal, and it also says that we are paying with a Visa. So once again, that is redundant information, but if it helps you understand the transaction, you put as much as information that you need.
And we go to the ledger,
Then we go to the ledger.
and we would go to assets, creamer, or sugar, sorry. $163. Then it would be the date, 6/15, 60 pounds. And then if we want to, we could put how much per pound, right?
If you'd like.
Let's reference General Journal 5. And then the debit for 2160. And then the same with the creamer. Journal 5.
What did you put in the notes?
Purchase 3 cases, 12 packs at $16.33 per case. And debit for $48.99.
48, right?
$48.99.
$48.99. And then on to liabilities for Visa payable.
Okay.
Purchase wholesale food store. General Journal 5. For a credit of $70.59. Making our balance $540.90.
Good.
And then the subledger.
What was our balance on that? I'm sorry.
540.90.
Thank you.
Is that what you have?
Yes. We actually do not have a food warehouse. My fault. I'm just looking for food supplies.
Okay.
Wholesale foods, right?
Mm-hmm.
615 notes, 60 pounds of sugar, and 3 cases of creamer.
Paid with Visa.
No invoice number. No post ref is General Journal 5. No counts. No dates. Just the invoice amount. 70.59.
And the payment for 70.59. Then insert your formula and it should show zero balance.
No, it's invoice minus prepaid minus returns minus discounts minus payment.
Good.
That's it.
That's it.
Man, we're doing good, team.
I know. I like this.
Hey, don't think it's so easy going on forth because you will be incurring things that we've never seen before. So keep a lookout. So this is right now easy.
Well, we're working on a Saturday. Give us some credit, woman.
Good teamwork.
Saturday. It's a Saturday.
Wait, that's what
In
that's
restaurant business, there is no such day as a weekend off.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Especially,
Like a Monday.
especially because the owner, right? They're open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. So yes, and you're the owner, the only owner.
And in the beginning, the owner works 7 days.
Exactly. And we can't afford to pay other people to work for us. So right now we have to do what we can do.
That's why he paid himself $1,500.
Exactly. Okay.
For
All
this
right.
next one, we received a bill. It's due in 4 days, so we won't go to our general journal, but we will post this to the subsidiary ledger so that we are aware of it.
Okay, but we received a bill.
So we would still put it in the journal.
Well, we didn't issue a PO.
Was there a per PO necessary?
But we didn't make a payment.
Right. So what do we do when we receive a bill and don't make a payment?
Oh,
We have to do the
Document it.
we have to document it because a service has been completed.
okay.
Hmm.
Outside vendor or subcontractor?
Well, let's take a look.
Miscellaneous expense.
Miscellaneous expense. Why?
We don't have an account to put it in yet.
Mm, no.
Well, because it hasn't been. It hasn't been.
Oh, no, we're gonna-
We haven't paid it yet.
Oh, okay, but okay. We haven't paid it yet.
We have the coffee grinder that we're having electrical work done to it in miscellaneous expense, and I think if I remember, we put this in miscellaneous expense also?
What's this?
Look. Oh, wait, hold it. Let me look.
Okay.
Let's see.
He hooked up, or he put in an outlet for the electrical.
Correct.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
up-
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
So that becomes part of the cost of the asset. And there we have it. We recognize that this is a part of my grinder because I have to put in electrical work for it. So, yes, so we are going to place this into miscellaneous expense. Okay. However, what else do we need to include?
Coffee grinder?
No, we,
Not yet.
Oh, so it's due in 4 days. We got a bill.
Correct.
accounts payable?
Accounts payable. Yes. Yes, because we received a bill. A job has been completed. Okay? So therefore, we need to make record of it because we are using an accrual type of accounting, right? We have to recognize every single expense, every single revenue, regardless whether we pay or not, or regardless whether we receive payment or not. So in this case, we received a bill. Therefore, we're verifying that we have a liability that we owe people. So yes, you have to journalize this. Okay? And you would incur it as someone that you owe. So here we are, June 15. We received a bill. Okay, so we're placing this expense into miscellaneous expense because this cost is associated with our coffee grinder. Okay. And we're recognizing that we have a bill and that we owe Silver State Electrical until we pay it. Okay, in this case, did I make any conclusions that I'm going to make a payment?
No.
No, I'm
It's
not.
due in 4 days.
It's due in 4 days, and I did not say I was going to pay it. So, miscellaneous expense, my account number.
19990.
Good. For how much?
$1,070.
Good. What was that, Nicole, for accounts payable?
I was just saying the amount.
Okay.
Melinda got it.
Oh, 20,000.
Good. Any notes for this transaction?
And
Uh,
so the electrical,
Invoice 3351 and net 4.
Ooh, 351 net 4. Okay.
Okay, I'm jumping up ahead. Do we go to miscellaneous expense, or do we go to operating expense?
no,
Where is miscellaneous expense?
assets.
It's account 19990.
Which
Okay.
is under your assets. Okay. So this is miscellaneous suspense, not miscellaneous expense.
You making fun of my language? I'm joking.
I keep saying expense too.
I
It's
know.
expense.
I can't remember. What was it 2 weeks ago, Alan, where you were saying depression? I can't remember.
Yeah. Not even gonna try to say it again.
I can't. That was awesome. Yes.
Okay, here we are, miscellaneous suspense,
June 15th.
June 15.
Silver, Silver State Electrical.
Okay,
I put the invoice number. Is it, 3351?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Would I put for grinder?
That's what I was gonna recommend. Like you could say electrical work for grinder. It's up to you if you want to put that for. In this case, we're not looking at the billing yet. We're just looking at just entering in the invoice.
General Journal 5.
Man, this is a big ass grinder we got. We need
Mm.
foundation and electrical work.
You'll be glad you got a big one when you're busy.
Right, definitely. Especially, unfortunately, we won't have time to do the second month. But I can post the second month for you, and it's you can. We want to make this company turn into a more profitable and maybe close to at least $100,000 kind of type of company, right? So we will be increasing sales by purchasing more equipment, purchasing things, maybe changing up the menu. Okay.
Put Starbucks out of business.
All right. Exactly. Right now, we only sell hot coffee. So because right now it's perfect timing. The next month, I have already created the second months already. I already introduced getting an ice maker and possibly serving cold drinks or blended drinks. So once again, every business, right? You have to start somewhere. Right now, we can't afford all that. We're already in debt by so much money. So right now, we need to start opening our business and let people try our coffee before we can start adding to our menu and so on and so forth.
Oh, we better have a good location.
Yes. Okay, so here we entered in the 15. Okay, electrical work,
1070.
1070.
415807. Yeah, okay.
415807 is correct. And
On to our vendors.
wait, you got one more account.
You have to go to accounts payable.
Payable.
Yes.
Payable.
Okay, good. Accounts payable.
Put June 15th. Invoice number 3351.
Mm-hmm.
General Journal 5. For the 1070.
$14,856.40.
That's what I got. Okay, Felipe. Now we can go to our subsidiary ledger.
Don't put me on the spot now. Come on. All right, ready? C22, C222. I don't know if you guys, that's how I'm formed by, when I type it in on the corner. Silver State.
Oh wait.
15.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. NLPSQRS Sergeant Silver. Got it.
All right. The 15, I put electrical for grinder. Invoice 3351. We didn't get no. Oh yeah, we got net. What we get? Net 4.
Net 4.
Net 4. So we don't have a discount date. So our due date, I put equal the 15 plus 4.
Oop,
It gave me
4.
19.
Good.
We haven't prepaid any account.
Mhm.
The invoice again is going to be 1,070. We didn't get a discount because we didn't ask for one.
They didn't give us one.
No, we didn't ask. I mean, we go negotiate. They're electricians.
Okay.
We haven't got any discounts. We haven't paid anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna apply right now my equal the invoice minus the prepaid minus the allowance of return minus the discount minus the payment, and we still owe in 1,070.
Good. All right. Okay. So then, good. Now that we finished that transaction, what has happened next?
Now we transfer the coffee grinder out of miscellaneous expense.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we're gonna do. So,
We're gonna add up everything: the grinder, the foundation, the grinder, the freight, the trans. Wait, so sorry. The grinder, the transportation or the freight,
uh-huh.
the foundation work, and the electrical work to put in the service.
Correct. So in this case, it's because we took the coffee brewer out. The only thing we have left is the coffee grinder. We have the foundation here, and we have the electrical work. So your grand total for this coffee grinder is right here. So we added everything up automatically. Okay.
We did. Okay.
Yep, it's right here.
Wait, I got a little lost. So we have the foundation for the coffee grinder, which was the 1560, and then the electrical for 1070.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, because the furniture was a loss. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, but we already zeroed that out. We took that out already. And we took out our coffee brewer, So we're left with 1528.07 for our coffee grinder.
Where are you at on there?
This is the miscellaneous suspense. So I'm just going over my transactions. Because Felipe said that, oh, we have the loss on there. We already took it out. That's out. That's gone. Okay.
We're in the ledger.
Yes, we're in the ledger. So here, right, by taking out the coffee brewer, I'm left with 1528.07, which is my coffee grinder with my tax and freight already included. Okay. So that's my coffee grinder just by itself is 1528.07. I added 1560 for my foundation plus an additional 1070 for my electrical work. So my grand total right now is 4158.07 for my coffee grinder. So what do I do with this?
So we're gonna go back to our general journal and put in miscellaneous expense.
Are we putting in or are we taking out?
We're taking it
Oh,
out.
we're taking it out.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And then we're gonna do the grinder and credit that for.
Whoa, why would we credit the grinder?
I'm sorry. I'm upside down.
I'm
right
lost.
now. No. I'm sorry. I confused you. Yeah. So our grinder is going to be debited, and our miscellaneous expense is going to be credited.
Correct, because in this case, we're gaining a grinder, right?
Yes.
We're adding a grinder. We finally have the grinder and we can move it into that account. Okay? And in this case, in order to take out from miscellaneous expense, we have, right now it's currently debit balance, so we need to credit it to zero out this account because we're essentially moving the whole thing out. So you do need to credit your miscellaneous, and we're going to drop it into our coffee grinder account.
Account number 15020.
Okay, and my miscellaneous.
19990.
All right, and we take a look at our miscellaneous expense so we know how much the cost of the entire grinder is. It is for 4158.07.
Okay, now I have a question. Let me
Yes.
go back to that. You added the 1560 and the 1070, and what was the other figure you added?
The 1528.07. This is the actual coffee grinder itself, including freight and taxes.
Okay, now hold it. I do not have that figure. Oh, wait, okay. Okay. I see moving brewer out, including tax and shipping.
Uh-huh.
I see that for the 1528.07.
Right. That's the remainder for the grinder, which already is calculated with the tax and the shipping because I already added it from the very beginning. But when I took my coffee brewer out, I took out everything, including the tax and the shipping for the coffee brewer. So therefore, what I'm left is my coffee grinder with the leftover tax and the leftover freight.
Okay.
So my amount for just my coffee grinder itself is at a grand total of 1528.07. But because I had to do foundation work on it and electrical wiring, these two are separate costs that are included to get this asset ready for service. Okay, because you can't run the machine if it has no foundation. And the area that we're working at doesn't have enough electrical outlets. So we need to add these as part of the cost to tack onto the machine because it's not ready to be placed into service. Okay, so now that we have everything, right? So that's why we add everything together so that we can get it ready for service. Okay. So that total amount is 4158.07. Okay. Any notes that you want to place here?
Coffee grinder from miscellaneous to service. Oh, so we didn't put it in service yet. We just put it there.
Let's put moving coffee grinder out of miscellaneous expense.
I like that better.
So, in this case, we already test. Our very first thing is when we purchase our asset, right? You should plug it in the wall to see if it works because you don't want to wait too long because we bought this in what, the 5th? So 10 days later, right? That's very close to the returning date that most companies are. They usually let you return it within 7 to 14 days. If it was 7 days, then you have to keep the machine regardless of whether it works or not. Okay?
For the
So,
41, oh, sorry,
go ahead.
go ahead. For the 4158, we were doing the grinder at 152807. The electrical for the 1560. Oh, and then the foundation for the 1070, right?
Yes. The grinder is 152807.
Oh, okay, 4158. Okay.
So,
These were we were getting the number.
yes. So in this case, we built the foundation already. We have the electrical work done. So most cases is you're gonna have to test to see the electrical unit works. So you probably plugged it in, and first off, we're probably 1 day away from setting up our company or opening our stores. You better make sure that coffee grinder works. You don't want to ever come into the conclusion where the day that you open your store, your coffee grinder doesn't work, therefore you can't even serve coffee. So, in that case, we place it into service the day that we moved it into the coffee grinder. Yes, because now everything's ready for it to be ready to be in service because we tested out the electrical unit. It works. We need to make sure that the coffee grinder works. So in this case, the day that we're placing it into the account because everything's completed is going to be the day that you place into service. So in this case, as of the 15th, will be the day that you place into service. Okay. So now that we have our journal here, what do we need to go now?
We need to actually go in and move it out.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So it's up to you. Where do you want to go first?
General ledger.
Ledger.
I'm in the ledger. Which account do you want to do first?
Coffee grinder.
Coffee grinder? All right. So that should be under your general equipment, coffee brewer, coffee grinder. Here I am. Okay. It is now the 15th. All right. So.
Oh, wait, is this where we would put the purchase?
I would put purchase, foundation, and electrical. Don't know how to word that, but total cost or because it's not in service yet. We just make sure everything was done. This is the total cost of the grinder.
Okay. So, yes, your notes could be anything that you like. So, if you want to say the coffee grinder was for the 152807, the foundation, or oops, let me fix that, plus, I cannot type today, plus foundation,
The 1070.
foundation was 1560, and electrical
What was it, 1070?
for 1070. Total costs.
Oh, we lost his screen. There it is.
Okay, so therefore, do we have a post reference?
General 5.
Journal 5.
Debit 50. I mean 4180. Sorry, $4,158.07.
Good. Right. Therefore, we should have your debit balance to reflect the same. Okay. Miscellaneous expense. Oops.
Move grinder. Oh, someone's gonna help me out with this one. Wording.
Move grinder out of miscellaneous.
I could just do MI. There you go. Okay. Good. For what total amount?
415807.
Bringing my account down to 0. Good.
Then next we got to go to our vendor to make sure we know that we owe people money.
Do we owe anybody money?
Yeah, Silver State Electrical.
Right, but we already entered the bill for that one already.
Oh, we did?
Yes. That was the first thing that we did.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
No
For
worries.
the
I'm thinking
miscellaneous.
all it's like on the same day, so I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah, yeah.
So now we go to the next scenario.
Yes, because this is an internal transaction, right? Moving the coffee grinder out of miscellaneous expense has nothing to do with anybody. It's an internal thing that you're doing within your account. So you didn't deal with the vendor. You didn't pay somebody to move it out from miscellaneous expense. So in this case, we can move on to the next transaction.
Purchase order number 170307 to Atlas Coffee Importers.
Okay.
We got 125 pounds of regular coffee and 125 of Supreme coffee.
Okay.
Total cost $366.25.
All right. What do we do with that?
PO,
PO.
General Journal.
Yes. Purchase orders. Good.
So we bought a total of 250 pounds of coffee again. Do we just write that down, or do we go specific on regular and Supreme again?
Your choice. In this case,
Oh no, because
I'm-
we didn't break it up earlier.
in this case, because if I open a box and I see coffee, that's good enough. Okay. If I find a discrepancy, such as, oh, I have 200 pounds of regular coffee and I have 50 pounds of Supreme coffee, then yes, that's where I'll have a discrepancy. I'll have to call the vendor and say, hey, you shipped me too much of this coffee. But in this case, I'll let you know you will not see that ever happen. So in this case, it's up to you. But as long as I know when I receive my purchase orders, I should have 200 pounds of coffee. Okay.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Okay, so when we have our vendor, do we ever, am I recalling wrong? We don't have a PO for our reference, do we?
What do you mean by that?
Hold on, let me make sure I'm correct.
Well, our PO numbers are right there where after the date.
Yep. So if you're talking about
Oh, yeah.
our PO numbers are the 17303.
No. When we go to our vendors on our ledger.
Uh-huh.
We don't have no room for our POs there right now, right?
So once again,
We're just going by
you
invoice.
yes.
Okay.
If you make a payment on this PO, like for the down payments, then yes, you do need to use it as a reference or invoice number. But in this case, if there's no payment towards this PO number, you do not need to you do not need to record it, because the ultimate goal is these PO numbers eventually become into bills, which the company itself will send you with the invoice. Okay, so in this case, there's no need to enter in this number because we are not making any payments to this one. Okay. For the what amount? Oops.
66,625.
Okay. All right. So, what I'm gonna have you guys do is, it is now 4:30. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here today, just because I have to use the bathroom really badly, and also I think that's good enough for today. So good job, guys. So when we come back tomorrow, we're gonna pick up on the next day, which is the June 16. So everything that we completed today, we finished everything for June 15. So save your work, and we're gonna come back to this tomorrow, working on the next day. Okay. So, yeah, good job, guys. Once again, that's only the beginning.